Coach said he kind of told you guys to get away a little bit, and some of you didn't. Which did you get away, or did you linger around at the building when you didn't have to be there, I guess?
No, I was there. A lot of the seniors and stuff are going to be around that building regardless of what Coach says. I think he kind of said, get away for some. That would have been helpful for some guys, but we wanted to get in and get to work. There's a lot of football left to be played, and got to take advantage of the time we have.
Obviously, an emotional game last when you played in a tough loss. Can you kind of give a sense of the attitude of the team or the mentality? Were guys down for a while? Did they bounce back fairly quickly?
I'd be lying to you if I said we weren't down for a while. We had a good thing going, and the big thing was that it's not done yet. We lost the game, but that was just a bump in the road. If you let it affect you in the weeks following, then you get beat twice, and that's not something we're going to let that happen as a team. We've got guys that are still just as hungry as before that game. We still have a goal in mind. None of our goals can't be accomplished. So, as far as a team, we're ready to play the next game and ready to get back out there and get the ship righted.
There's still a ways to go, obviously, in the season, but are you looking at the divisions and kind of who's playing each other and how that affects you? Obviously, Michigan State, Wisconsin game was a big one. We got a lot of attention, et cetera.
Yeah, I really haven't been paying too much attention to that, honestly. Just because this is the first year it's happened, I really don't know how it's all going to shake out in the end. That and when you play football, you kind of talk about controlling the controllables. And what we can control is how we play in our games. And right now that's got to be our focus with, how everything shakes down within the two divisions and then the championship game and stuff like that. We don't consider ourselves out of the hunt at all. And we still feel like we control our own destiny as far as when it comes to that. We have to play good football, continue to get better, and focus on ourselves. And those, as far as I'm concerned, those are just distractions.
Ryan, Coach Hoke talked about Brendan Beyer and Frank Clark as two guys that maybe used the bye week and did their advantage. Can you talk about those two guys and guess how you've seen them come along so far this season? Yeah,
when they first got here for fall camp, they were two guys that we thought as freshmen had some really raw athleticism and potential. And both of them, I think, were well coached in high school to the point of they were able to pick up the scheme. Schematically, they were able to figure things out relatively quickly, as fast as you can expect a freshman to pick it up. And so we were ready for them to contribute. It just got to be a point of, can we trust them to do all their jobs and stuff and adjust to formations and stuff? Because if you put them in a situation in practice, it's different than in a game when you can't predict what they might see. So now that they've gotten some experience, both of them have gotten into some games, they're feeling more and more comfortable with them, and I think you're going to see more and more contribution out of them because they both bring a different aspect. Frank Clark's, he's probably one of the fastest guys on the defense all around, let alone on the defensive line. And Beyer also has some good football instincts and stuff, plays well. So, they're going to contribute slowly as the season goes on. And Coach Madison's always been a firm believer that the more guys you can get in the game, the fresher you can keep guys. And he's getting more and more confidence in them, so you're going to see more of them as the season goes on.
As an upperclassman, do you take those guys aside, teach them the defense, teach them stuff you guys know?
As much as we can. I play a different position than them, have different assignments than them. It's more about mentally, I think, getting them ready. I think a lot of guys struggle with confidence and stuff, not necessarily them, but I'm just saying there's guys that maybe don't believe that they should be in the position that they're in, and you kind of have to just tell them, they're not going to put you out there and put the team at risk by putting you out there. They think that you can get the job done the best on the team or you wouldn't be out there. So just have confidence going out there. And when you're an 18-year-old kid playing against 22, 23-year-olds, that can shake you a little bit, but those guys have shown, that they have what it takes to compete at the highest level.
Ryan, NCAA President Mark Emmert is proposing that an addition of $2,000 to every scholarship to more, approximate the actual cost of tuition and everything else. What are your thoughts on that as you've been through, 4 or 5 years of college and spending money and not spending money and all that?
So I'm kind of confused. I'm not familiar with that.
He's adding essentially. He's making a proposal to add $2,000 to every scholarship.
Okay, so that would show up over a year, extra 2,000, or
that's kind of how I understand it. Yeah.
That'd be I think a good idea. I think is that football only? Or is that for all scholarships?
It says all, but it seems like it's still very murky.
Yeah.
He talked about it this morning, really.
Oh yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think that college athletics is a entity that brings a lot of revenue in. I don't know this. I'm not, an economics major or anything like that, but I think it would make guys a little bit more confident or more comfortable throughout college. We're not struggling by any means, but we are college students. I mean, you come out of here not in the black, but I think it'd be a good idea. I think that's decisions that's left up to the guys in power. I think they'll make the right decision when it comes down to it.
And just with this team itself, I know that over the last couple of years, you guys have, gone from this point and then struggled the rest of the way. Why is this going to be different?
I think the leadership is different. I think the attitude's different. I think the main reason why it won't happen is because we won't let it happen. There's a sense of will not. There's not going to be a crash and burn or, this one stumble isn't going to lead to us stopping. We got to keep leaning forward and take a step. That's been our attitude throughout this bye week, through practices, and we're just going to keep picking up momentum. We're not going to be stopped from what goals we want to accomplish.
How is that different from last year then? Because I know you guys said very similar things a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand what you're saying, but you got to be around the building. You got to be around and feel the energy and the hunger that the kids have. I think last year there might have been a lack of confidence. There was the same words were coming out, but the actual confidence and presence in the locker room and in practice and the intensity wasn't where it was now. And I think that's going to be the difference maker.
Was the bye week, do you think it helped this team more mentally or physically?
Both. I mean, I know there's been some guys that have been banged up a little bit here and there and bumps and bruises, but when you have a bye week, especially where it's placed, we have a perfectly placed bye week. We've gotten through the bulk of our schedule, 7 games. We have 5 left. You can almost say that everybody's going to be almost 100% healthy coming into the Purdue week. And when you've got health like that and going into your last part of your schedule, it's only going to play as a plus. So it was perfect physically. And then mentally, it was really good because you can go back and review some of the mistakes that you might have made, like repeated mistakes, because those are the big things that you can't ever have happen. So when you get to review some of your repeated mistakes on film, mentally you can kind of, evaluate yourself and say, this is one area that's, an obvious weakness and something I need to improve on. And every individual player has been able to go through that with their coach and figure out where they need to improve in order for us to be where we want to be at the end of the season.
Did you get a chance to watch Illinois-Purdue Saturday, and what do you think about the team you got coming up?
Yeah. I was watching the game, and I was thinking, man, Purdue plays really hard. They're a really good team. They've kind of picked up as they've gone. I think one of the things Purdue might not have been as good at before was improving throughout the season. I know they had some injuries and stuff last year, but it seems like they're getting better every week, and they played a really good Illinois team, and they beat them. So they're a solid team. I think they're kind of finally finding themselves as far as last year they had alternating quarterbacks and stuff, and they've kind of finally found what their game plan and strategy and found the right guys at the right position. So they're rolling as a team. They're going to be a good challenge for us.
Ryan, you guys talked about last week how important the senior meeting last week would be. I guess can you tell us what you guys talked about righting the ship after a tough Michigan State loss?
One of the things we talked about was, how are we going to make this different than the last couple of years? Where do we stand as a team in comparison to last year, and how can we build upon what we saw kind of not work for us last year? And the things we talked about were, as seniors and stuff, taking the field for practice, everything we do has to be 100% and 100% committed, effort, enthusiasm. Everything has to be generated through us. And as players, if we can generate it as veterans, then the younger guys will hopefully follow. And that's something that we've talked to Coach Hoke about. And if we can continue to do that, we'll definitely get better. If we don't, then you're going to see the same results as last year. It all falls upon us.
You talked about that confidence you guys have this year that's different. How much of that comes from the coaching staff? How much of that comes from you guys, your senior leadership?
I'd say it's probably split 50-50. I mean, the coaches obviously have a lot of confidence and faith in us. And then the players that are contributing, I mean, we've got so many veterans that have been in this situation, this exact situation before. I mean, you would think that guys who've been through the same situation would know how to correct it, So when you're in that kind of situation, you have to figure out what works and what didn't work, build off of that, and make sure that you do everything you can to get yourself right, and then all the guys that you can influence right. And that's what our focus is this week.
Following up on that also, Ryan, how much of the confidence, though, is the fact that you've already gotten the 6th win, you're already bowl eligible? Last couple of years, you were always going for that goal, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was something that was kind of hyped up. Previous 2 years was, are they going to make a bowl game? Are they going to be bowl eligible? Because we broke that streak 3 years ago, I think it was. And, that was kind of sent a panic wave through Michigan alums and stuff like that. And so the fact that we won our first 6 this year, that's kind of been silenced, which is a good thing, I think, because all that is a distraction. If you focus on becoming bowl eligible, that means you focus on winning 6 games, and that's not the Michigan standard. Winning 6 games is a failure as a season by anybody's standards that played here or went here or coached here or anything like that. So 6 wins is not something we're focused on. We're focused on a Big Ten championship. We're focused on BCS bowl games. We have no concerns of winning enough games to go to a good bowl game. That's too low of a goal.
Ryan, you touched on it a little bit ago. The difference now between the past couple of years is you guys are really healthy right now. Past couple of years, people were out or banged up and playing. Does that give you guys confidence knowing that really you got your full cachet of players going forward?
Absolutely. That makes us more confident because I'm not sure the status of Purdue, but I'm just guessing that around the Big Ten that might not be the case. There's a lot of guys that have starters banged up, guys that are impact players banged up, and luckily for us, that's not our situation. We're healthy. Our coaches have been taking care of us. They push us hard, but they also ease back when they think that guys might need a little bit more rest or recuperation or something like that. They take care of us. Training staff's excellent. We're healthy, and that's definitely an advantage because I don't think everybody can say that in the conference.